That's all. You're all set. Yep.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Morning, sir. Your name, please.
Christopher Hurst.
Hurst.
Yes, sir.
Hill State of Michigan versus Christopher Hurst, Washington County Sheriff, Senate 2153449. Allegations met on August 8, 2021, Ypsilanti Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, on Whitaker, Adner, Huron. You did make an assault or assault and battery on Joanne McLaren. Being charged with a second offense based upon a conviction of July 30, 2007. That makes this a misdemeanor carrying a maximum penalty if convicted of up to 1 year in jail, a $1,000 fine, plus court costs, or both. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You've read and signed the advice of rights form.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions with regard to your rights?
No, sir.
Okay. Public defenders collected information from you this morning and forwarded that to the court, indicating you live on McCrone Road in Milan. Is that right?
Yes.
Telephone number ends in 4159.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you currently do not have an email address. Is that right?
No.
Okay. Based upon the information provided by the public defender, the court will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. All right. Mr. Reiser, court's reviewed your bond recommendation. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Kleeman, you want to address bond?
Yes, please. Assistant Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Hurst. And Mr. Hurst does have stable housing at the address provided to the court. The complaining witness does not live at that address. He also works full-time as a mechanic, which is a job that he's had for the past 3 years. He is not currently on probation or parole. And I did also discuss a no contact order with him. He stated that that should not be an issue as the parties do not live together. So we are requesting a personal bond.
Thank you. Given the nature of the allegations, the court will set bond conditions to assure public safety. These conditions are that you are not to use or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana. Do you have a medical marijuana card?
No card.
No? Okay. Not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You're not to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapon. Do you own any firearms?
No, sir.
You're not to commit any assaultive, terrorizing, frightening, intimidating, threatening, harassing, molesting, or stalking behavior towards any individual. You're not to have contact with Joanne McLaren. With absolutely no contact, no indirect contact through family or friends, no text message, email, social network posting, telephone contact, or any contact of any sort whatsoever. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're not to go to her place of residence or employment. Court has an address in Chesterfield, Michigan for her. Is that your understanding as to where she lives?
Yes.
Okay. If you do have any personal belongings at that address, you may go there to collect them, but you need to have the police agency that is responsible for Chesterfield, Michigan with you on what's called a civil standby. So whether that's the sheriff's department or a local police agency up there, you'll have to determine that, get a hold of that agency and let them know you have a civil standby order, and they will make those arrangements with you to collect any personal belongings. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
course, not to violate any criminal laws, and you need to appear for all of your court dates and to other places as directed by the court. Do you have any questions regarding any of these conditions?
No, sir.
These conditions will be placed in what's called the Law Enforcement Information Network, meaning should you come into contact with the police, they will have access to that information. Should they witness or suspect a bond violation to have occurred, you would be arrested for that bond violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And while all bond conditions apply equally, typically where people run into challenges with these is either with contact with a protected individual or intoxication. So just make sure you're paying attention to everything, but those in particular, okay?
Yes.
All right. Next court date will be a pretrial hearing. Okay. Oops, I got the wrong page. That's why that's wrong. Okay. Let me get to the right spot. Hang on a second, sir. All right, pretrial will be September 13th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Court will mail you a link with mail you a notice with the Zoom information included in that notice. Are you familiar with Zoom?
No.
Okay, so the public defender will be in touch with you for your next court date. They can walk you through a little bit, but it's fairly straightforward. You can either get on to their website or download the app to any camera-ready device, whether it's a tablet piece, tablet, laptop, or phone even. You simply just plug the number in that we're going to send to you into the Zoom app or the Zoom website. That'll bring you into the waiting room for the court hearing. What you'll see first is you'll be in Judge Washington's waiting room. You may be there for a little while, and then they'll bring you to the court environment when they're ready to call your case. So we just ask you to be patient while that process takes place, because there'll be a number of cases going that day. And you need to make sure you are near the phone, so when it does come into the environment, you're ready to go, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ms. Kleeman, anything else on bond or conditions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. And pretrial will be September 13th, 9 a.m. via Zoom. Defendant's released on a person for cognizance of the conditions placed on the record. All right, Mr. Hurst, you're all set. Stay safe, okay?
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you. Morning, your name, please?
Melvin Lilly.
Be with you in just one moment, okay?
Okay.
And I apologize, just not looking at my clock. It is afternoon. All right. People, State of Michigan versus Melvin Lilly, case number 21FB1709. Allegations that August 7, 2021, Ypsilanti Township, Washington County, State of Michigan at 2901 Bynum Drive. You did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Caitlin Garlick, a sheriff or deputy sheriff of the county of Washington, that you knew or had reason to know or performing duties as a deputy sheriff. It's a felony carrying a maximum penalty if convicted of a term of up to 2 years in prison, a $2,000 fine, or both. Do you understand that allegation?
Yes.
You need to advise certain rights, so you have the right to remain silent because anything you say on the record can and would be used against you at trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of these proceedings, including before, during, and after trial, and any time you're being questioned by a police officer. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Reviewing the information provided by the public defender, your telephone number ends in 0971, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have an email address that ends in lly2@gmail.com, is that right?
Yes.
In the future, the court may email or text you using these contact points. Is it okay to use these, both the phone and email for that purpose?
Yes.
But based upon the information provided by the public defender, the court will endorse the petition to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Ms. Riser, the court's reviewed your bond recommendation form. Do you have anything else to add?
Your Honor, I just want to, I don't know, I don't remember how much detail I put on the form, but just so the court is aware, Deputy Garlick was responding to a call regarding a disorderly situation, a domestic dispute between this defendant and the co-defendant, Mr. Prim, and was trying to sort of diffuse the situation and got caught in the middle. So it was a little bit of a domestic aspect to it, but those charges were not issued, just the R&O. And yes, I would just rely on my bond form.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kleeman, did you want to address bond?
Yes, please. We are requesting a personal bond. Mr. Lilly does have stable housing at the address provided to the court. He's been living there for the past year. I'm not clear if the prosecution is seeking a no-go-to order to that address, but I did speak with a complaining witness, or, well, Mr. Prim, who is the alleged victim in the domestic violence incident. He stated to me he will not be returning there, so I don't believe a no-go-to order would be necessary. It would be just Mr. Lilly returning to that address. He's not currently on probation or parole. He does have some significant health issues that he has not received meds for yet at the jail. He is very concerned about receiving the proper meds going forward if he's not released. And he stated to me that he would not be able to post a cash bond because he is unemployed.
Thank you. All right, sir, with regard to bond, the court's going to set some bond conditions. You're not to use or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana. Do you have a medical marijuana card?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a medical marijuana card?
No.
You are not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You are not to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapon. Do you own any firearms?
They confiscated it.
Okay, that will remain in the custody of Washington County Sheriff's Department until this matter is resolved. Do you own any additional firearms besides the one?
No.
Okay, and then while you're on bond, you're not to acquire any additionals. You understand that?
Understand.
As you and Mr. Prim are charged as co-defendants, the court is going to order you to have no contact with Prim. This means absolutely no contact, no indirect contact with family or friends, no text messages, emails, social network posting, telephone contact, or any contact of any sort whatsoever. Do you understand that?
Understand.
Okay. Do you anticipate his needing to come back to the residence to collect personal belongings?
Yes, he does.
Okay, the court will order that to be done by a civil standby. So he should not be returning there unless the sheriff's deputy is present for that. The court will allow you to be present for that during the civil standby as well. So there's no confusion as to with regard to that. If you choose to be, if you don't want to be there when the civil standby occurs, that's fine too. But my only point is the no contact doesn't apply during the civil standby. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions on these conditions?
So what happens after this?
I'll get to the where your next court dates are and next steps here in just a moment. I just want to make sure you understand the conditions I've placed here on the record.
Yes, I understand.
These conditions will be placed into the law enforcement information network, meaning should you come into contact with the police, they will have access to that information. Should they witness or suspect a bond violation to have occurred, you would be arrested for that bond violation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. That'll be set for what's called a probable cause conference on August the 19th at 9 a.m. Matter is not resolved at that hearing, proceed to a preliminary examination. That is a hearing at which point in time the prosecutor must present sufficient evidence and or testimony. There's probable cause crime was committed, probable cause you did commit the crime. Should the judge presiding over the hearing determine that probable cause does exist, the matter will be bound over, in other words, transferred to a circuit court for trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That will take place on August the 24th, also at 9 a.m. Both of these hearings will take place via Zoom unless you're notified otherwise. Are you familiar with Zoom, sir?
Yes. Is there any way I can get this information in writing or email or something?
The dates and times of everything is going to be provided to you before you leave the jail today. Okay. The Zoom information will be mailed to you.
Okay.
If you don't receive that in the mail as that court date approaches, you can always call the court. The clerks can give you the Zoom information over the telephone as well. Okay.
Right.
Any other questions on bond or process at this point?
No.
People have anything else on bond or the conditions?
Your Honor, could you also add as a bond condition, do not violate any criminal law?
I believe I said that, but yes, that would be a
Thank you.
So I'm not understanding. You said no alcohol or any consumption up until when? I didn't understand that part really.
You're not to use or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana until further order of the court. So most likely until this case is over with. But I'm not sure what reason there would be for that, for any deviation from that condition, but you can talk to the public defender about that and they can raise that at a hearing if you'd like them to, if they agree it's reasonable to do.
No, I understand. I just needed more explanation. I
Sure.
understand.
Yeah, no, there's no problem. These are how you're gonna have to live your life for the next little while. So it's important you understand everything. That's not a problem. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Ms. Kleeman, anything else on bond or conditions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. All right. Again, August the 19th at 9 a.m. via Zoom will be the probable cause conference. Court will set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond and you are free to go today. However, should you fail to appear for court or violate a bond condition, a warrant would issue for your arrest and the bond will be $5,000 at that time. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're all set. Stay safe. Okay.
Okay.
Correct.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning. Your name, please.
Kiev Prim.
Thank you, Mr. Prim. All right. I'm well. Yourself?
I'm fine.
All right. Appeal of State of Michigan versus Kiev Prim. This is Washington County Sheriff Incident 2153349. Allegation this matters on August 7, 2021 in Ypsilanti Township, Washington County, State of Michigan at 2901 Binen Drive. You did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Caitlin Garlick, a sheriff or deputy sheriff of the county of Washington, that you knew or had reason to know performing duties as a deputy sheriff. That is a felony carrying a maximum penalty if convicted of a term of up to 2 years in prison, a $2,000 fine, or both. Do you understand that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Come again?
Sure. The allegation is that you did assault.
I have a 2-year maximum in prison.
If you're convicted, that's the maximum possible penalty if you're convicted. it's not automatic. It's a maximum possible penalty. Okay?
Okay.
Carries a maximum up to 2 years in prison, a $2,000 fine, or both. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I need to advise you of certain rights. You do have the right to remain silent when you say on the record can and would be used against you at trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of the proceedings, including before, during, and after trial, and any time you're being questioned by a police officer.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Reviewing the information provided by the public defender indicates you do not have a telephone at this time.
No, sir.
Okay, but you do have an email address that ends in 99@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I
all right.
don't have a way to access it. He destroyed all of my property.
Okay, all right. So is there a phone number out there for you? You just can't get access to it because you don't
I don't have
have
a phone. I don't have a phone. He broke my phone.
Okay. What's the phone number though once you get your phone back?
I don't know. I don't have a job. I just moved up here. I moved up
Okay.
here to be with him.
Okay,
I'm trying to get a job.
you're fine. Okay. All right, based upon the information provided by the public defender, the court will endorse the petition to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Ms. Riser, the court's reviewed your bond recommendation. Do you have anything to add?
Your Honor, I just want to make sure that Mr. Prim, that we can confirm what was said in the last person's hearing, that he will not be returning to that address other than on civil standby.
Ms. Kleeman.
That is completely fine with me.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kleeman, do you want to respond?
Yes, please. Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Prim. And we are requesting a personal bond in this matter. As stated, he does not plan to return to that address. He is also aware that there will be a no contact order between him and his co-defendant. He stated that that will not be an issue. He currently does not have anywhere else to go, but I am going to try to refer him to our social worker to see if she can assist with housing going forward. He did just get a job at Whole Foods, which he is starting this coming Thursday. He is not on probation, parole, or bond to any other court. He does currently have a broken thumb that he needs to seek medical treatment for, and he stated that he would not be able to post a cash bond since he just began working.
Thank you. All right, sir. With regard to bond, the court's going to set certain conditions of your release, bond conditions. These are that you're not to use or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana. Do you have a medical marijuana card?
No.
You are not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You are not to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapon. Do you own any firearms?
No, sir.
You are not to commit to any assaultive, terrorizing, frightening, intimidating, threatening, harassing, molesting, or stalking behavior towards any individual. As you and Melvin Lilly are co-defendants in this matter, the court will urge you not have contact with Melvin Lilly. There's absolutely no contact, no indirect contact to family or friends, no text message, emails, social network posting, telephone contact, or any contact of any sort whatsoever. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're not to go to the address of 2901 Binan Drive in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The exception to that is you may return there to collect personal belongings, but you do have to have a sheriff's deputy with you. So when you're released from jail, you contact the sheriff's department, tell any of us.
Question. How do I go about like pressing charges against him?
Well, you talk to Ms. Kleeman, the public defender, about any issues you have with regard to questions of the process. The charges, he's been charged with similar charges as yours are. Back to what I was saying. Is you will need a civil standby to return to that address. So contact the sheriff's department. They'll make arrangements with you to go to that address to collect personal belongings with the sheriff's department present. You understand that?
Yes, but how am I don't have a way to contact them.
You're in jail right now. You can contact the sheriff's department right there, or you can go up to the front desk when you get out of jail. All right, they'll help you out. All right. Finally, you're not to violate any criminal laws. Of course, you need to appear for all your court dates and to other places as directed by the court. Do you have any questions with regard to these conditions?
No, sir.
These conditions will be placed in what's called the Law Enforcement Information Network, meaning should you come into contact with the police, they will have access to that information. Should they witness or suspect a bond violation have occurred, you would be arrested for that bond violation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Once you've established an address, you need to contact the court and provide that information to the court so the court's able to get information to you regarding your court cases. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your next court date will be a hearing on August the 19th. It's referred to as a probable cause conference. If the matter does not get resolved at that hearing, it will proceed to a preliminary examination. That is a hearing at which point in time the prosecutor must present sufficient evidence and or testimony that probable cause crime is committed and probable cause you to commit the crime. Should the judge presiding over that hearing determine that probable cause does exist, the matter will be bound over in order to transfer to circuit court for trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
That hearing will take place August 24th, also at 9 a.m. Both of those hearings will take place via Zoom. Are you familiar with Zoom?
So, if I'm not to have like a vehicle or a way to transport back and forth, how will I be able to do so?
So you can do Zoom one of a number of ways. You can do it if you have a smartphone, a tablet, or
I
a
don't have
laptop.
one.
Okay.
I highly doubt I have one by then.
Okay. You can appear at the court. The court does have Zoom terminals you can utilize.
Is there a way, I'm sorry, is there a way that he can like pay me for the phone that he broke?
So that's beyond the purview of what we're dealing with here today. Okay.
Right.
All right. So you need to make arrangements however you can do it to get yourself to the hearing. Stay in touch with the public defender's office. They can walk you through a number of options you may have as far as appearing for your court date. But it's important you do appear via Zoom. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do people have anything else on bond?
No, thank you.
Ms. Kleeman?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir, you are released on a personal recognizance bond. Should you fail to appear for court or violate a condition of bond, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're all set for today. Stay safe, okay?
All right.
Thank
So
you.
I can leave jail now?
Well, they got to get some paperwork and process you out, but by today you'll be out, yeah.
All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Yep, have a good day.
Thank you. Hi, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your name, please?
Lavonda Tolliver. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, good morning
Good morning. Good afternoon.
or afternoon.
All right. Appeal State of Michigan versus Lavonda Tolliver, Washington County Sheriff's at 2153366. Ms. Tolliver, the allegation of this matter is on August 7th of this year in Ypsilanti Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, at or near 1978 Outer Lane. You did make an assault upon a Ravone Fields with a dangerous weapon identified as a hammer and or a board. That is a felony carrying a maximum penalty should you be convicted of a term of up to 4 years in prison, a $2,000 fine, or both. Do you understand that allegation?
I understand the allegation that they made towards me, but I promise, Your Honor, I didn't hit her with a hammer. I promise.
You're certainly presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So, this is an allegation at this point in time. So
Okay.
today we're just advising you of the charge. Okay.
Okay.
Along with the advice of what the charge is, the court doesn't need to advise of your rights at this point as well. You do have the right to remain silent using the same record can and would be using into a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of these proceedings. This does include before, during, after trial, and any time you're being questioned by a police officer. If you are unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
The public defender did collect information from you this morning, indicating your telephone number is 5450. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you have a Gmail address that is essentially your first name dot last name at Gmail?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. The reason the court collects those two data points is the court may contact you in the future via email or text with regard to information about your court case. Is it okay to use it for that purpose?
Yes,
All right. Okay, and you're currently unemployed and have no other source of income at this time?
that is correct.
Okay. Court will endorse the petition appointing the public defender to represent you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Reiser, the court's reviewed your bond recommendation form. Do the people have anything to add?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Kleeman, did you want to respond?
Yes, please. We are requesting a personal bond in this matter. Ms. Tulliver does have stable housing at the address provided to the court. The complaining witness is her daughter, and she does typically stay at that house, but the house belongs to Ms. Tulliver, and she is initiating eviction proceedings. So we would ask that there not be a no-go-to order given the circumstances. She for an organization that does COVID testing. However, she's currently between assignments. She does anticipate being back to work within the next week or so. She has a spinal injury that affects the left side of her body, so jail conditions have been very difficult on her. She has no prior conviction. She is not on probation, parole, or bond to any other court, and she represented to me that she would have difficulty posting a cash bond.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Tolliver, the court's going to set a few bond conditions to assure public safety. These conditions are that you're not to use or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana. Do you have a medical marijuana card?
Yes, sir, I do.
And how long have you had that?
Since the program started, so over
Okay.
10 years.
Okay. Is that with regard to your back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's
Court will-
it's regarded to the back, my endometriosis, my back injury. I hurt my spine last year when I fell. And
Okay.
I have I'm going to have spinal surgery in the next upcoming months, but I would be at your mercy if you can please get me off this floor tonight in the jail.
Certainly. Oh,
That was a little different sleeping on the floor, but I'm having an LOL moment about it.
I hear you. I appreciate your spirits here. So the court will allow the use of medical marijuana under the following conditions. One, of course, is you use it as prescribed. Two,
Yes,
that
sir.
you're able to provide proof of a valid card. And that
Absolutely.
you provide documentation of medical necessity. So in other words, you need to go back to your prescribing doctor and they'll produce a
Okay.
letter.
I can do that for you.
Okay, excellent. All right. The remaining conditions are that you're not to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition, or dangerous weapon. Do you own any
Absolutely.
firearms?
No, sir, I do not.
All
I will not even, I have a CPL class scheduled for next week. I won't even go to the class if you don't want me to, but I've had it scheduled for the last 3 months. So, you know,
Yeah.
with
That's
me
it.
being in a prison environment, I just thought it was kind of smart just for me to have my CPL, and I travel by myself so much, so.
Sure.
But I can hold off if you want me to instead of taking a class.
Okay, and you currently do not own it, right? A
No,
firearm.
sir, I do not.
Okay.
Not at all. No weapons in my home.
Okay, all right. Yeah, probably a good idea just to hold off on that for a minute
I
while
can.
this whole thing clears up, okay?
Okay, no problem. Absolutely.
All right. You're not to commit any assaultive, terrorizing, frightening, intimidating, threatening, harassing, molesting, or stalking behavior towards any individual.
Okay.
We're gonna order that you have no unwanted contact with Ravone Fields, okay?
I'm gonna
So-
stay clear away from her, Your Honor. I promise. There will not be
Okay.
any more issues.
Okay. You're not to violate any criminal laws, and of course, you need to appear for all of your court dates. Do you have any questions in regard to these conditions?
No, sir.
These conditions will be placed in what's called the Law Enforcement Information Network, meaning should you come into contact with the police, they will have access to that information. Should they
Okay.
witness or suspect a bond violation have occurred, that would result in arrest for that bond violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Do
Yep.
I have a felony on my record now, and this is gonna affect my employment?
No, this is, as I said earlier, this is an allegation at this point in time. Okay, you've not been convicted of anything. That's going to move on down through the process. The
Okay.
public defender will be in touch with you before your next court date. They can walk you through more of the legal side of things, and I can just sort of touch on the surface of it, but they can give you more advice and talk to you more about that, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely, yeah. Your next court date will be on August the 19th for what's called a probable cause conference. That'll take place via Zoom at 9 a.m. Are you familiar with Zoom?
Yes, sir, I am.
Perfect, okay. If the case does not resolve itself on that date, it will proceed to what's called a preliminary examination. That is, here at the point in time, the prosecutor must present sufficient evidence and or testimony that there's probable cause crime was committed, probable cause you did commit the crime. Should the
Okay,
judge presiding over that hearing determine that probable cause does exist, at that point, the matter would be bound over, meaning it would be transferred to circuit court for trial. You understand that?
yes, sir, I do.
Okay, all right. Do people have anything else on bond or conditions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Kleeman?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Okay, Ms. Tolliver, you are released on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. I mean, you'd be free to go today.
What
Okay?
does that mean? I don't have to pay it? Do I have to pay 5,000?
No. Okay.
Thank
That's
you
what,
so much.
but if you violate your bond, that's what your next bond would be. Okay? So as long as you're.
I won't violate it, I
take care of everything you don't do about it. Okay?
I won't violate it.
Okay. All
Thank
right,
you,
so-
sir.
You're all set. Stay safe. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Melissa. Thanks,
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Robinson.